Mr. Jones, I appreciate you taking a moment to meet with me today and go over the Uniguest system and software that we provide to the industry. I sent out some basic information to you. I'm assuming that you've received it and hopefully had an opportunity to review it. As you may be aware, Uniguest is the largest provider of security software and guest-facing PCs in the industry. Right now, we service over 15,000 devices in over 8,000 hotels in 44 countries. Uniguest has been doing Business Center software and security for a little over 11 years now. I've been with the company since inception and have been providing services to hoteliers for quite some time. What I really wanted to do today was take a moment and kind of tell you a little bit about the Uniguest system, what we do for hotels, management companies, and brands across the country, and why we are the leading provider of this service. As you may be aware, most hotel brands today require some kind of security software or management of their guest-facing PCs. Starwood, Hilton, Marriott, Choice, virtually every brand out there requires that the PCs that are provided in the lobby, in the business center, or other areas of the property are secured and managed. This became even more prevalent in 2014 when the Department of Homeland Security and the there we go with a message that just popped up on the screen. Department of Homeland Security and Secret Service actually issued a release in July of 2014 regarding some significant concerns about keylogging devices being found in hotels. If you're not familiar with keyloggers, in essence, keyloggers are devices that are installed either via software or hardware in a business center. And what these devices do is they capture all of the keystrokes on any keyboard. So in essence, if I walk into a business center and let's say a criminal had been in there and they installed this keylogger device, they put this device typically, if it's a hardware device, they'll install it between the keyboard and the PC. I sit down at that business center, I start typing in, I want to check my bank account, I go to usbank.com, I then type in my username, I then type in my password. All that information, every keystroke is then logged and saved on these keylogger devices. So the criminal then comes in a few days later, they remove this device that's installed in the keyboard and PC, or they pull up the software that's also retained this information, and they basically have keys to the kingdom. They have recorded every stroke on that keyboard, and they'll know that you went to US Bank, they'll know that you typed in your username and your password, and they'll have all the activity stored on that device. So brands out there now require security software and professional management of these systems, A, to protect their guests, because they don't want their information being stolen, but B, it's also to protect the brand, the owner, the management company, and the property from liability. If you're providing these devices to guests, guests expect that these devices are secure. Just like when they walk into their room, they expect that the locks work, they expect that the hotel is secured, they have proper systems in place, that they're in a safe environment. Same thing when they sit down at these business centers. They assume that these business centers are protected and are wiped on a regular basis. So the security software that we install in these business centers does that. It locks down the system, it keeps the guest's information secure, and it wipes the session clean from one user to another. To quickly walk you through the software, kind of show you just the basics, not an in-depth presentation. We can do that if you'd like, but right now, really just to show you briefly, when a guest walks up to a business center that we manage, this is what they see. They'll see tiles on the desktop, say internet, local information, tools, work, travel, the date and time. So if a guest wants to go online, they can go up, they can click on the internet. Now you'll notice there's no start button, there's no Windows login, there's no settings, there's nothing here in the lower left-hand side that traditionally you and I would look for. It's made to have a clean look, an easy to use look, but also a secure look. So the guest then clicks on internet, and let's say that guest doesn't have the best intention. They can go in and they could say, hey, let's search for porn on this machine. Well, I'll take them in, and I'll take them to some links. So then if the guest goes in, and let's say they want to go directly to a porn site, .com, XXX.com, and they try and pull up that site, in essence, they're going to see a logo that's going to pop up saying, this information is not accessible, access denied, the software believes that this site is inappropriate. So it's going to prevent them from getting access to adult content. Now, most hoteliers also follow SIPA. SIPA is the Child's Internet Protection Act. It's a law designed for schools and libraries to prevent patrons from getting access to adult content. Well, that law now has been kind of adopted by hoteliers and internet cafes and people that provide computers across the country. So in essence, although it's not a law requiring adult filters, most of the brands have adopted that as a best-in-class scenario to have in their business centers. So they will be protected from any inappropriate content. Now again, nothing is 100%, but these are best-in-class filters that are going to block the content you do not want guests accessing in your lobby. They could also get local information. They can save information to their computer. They can also do work. Now, when a guest works on these machines, all their activity, everything that they do, from the time they sit down to the time they're done, will be wiped away at the end of their session. So let's say if I go in here and I want to create a document, I forgot something for work, so I want to create something. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to create a test document. I'm now going to save that document. Okay, save this test. So I'm going to save it. So now, as I continue to work on that machine before the end of my session, that document will be stored for me to go back and work on. So I click on Tools, and let's say I want to go and see where that document is. Okay, here's that document that I just worked on. I can then open it up and start working back on that document. Anything I download to that machine, a picture, a file, whatever, it's going to be saved into this folder over here so I can access it, I can work on it. When I'm done with my session, however, I can either walk away from that machine, and within a few minutes of an activity, the machine will actually pop up with a scripting that will say, you've been inactive for X amount of minutes. Do you want to continue your session? If I don't respond to that, the machine will actually wipe itself clean. If I want to continue my session, I say, yes, I can continue working on that machine, no problem. However, if I'm done with that session, I've done everything I need to do, I go in and I click log out. It'll then pop up and say, are you sure you want to quit all these applications? Your information will be deleted. I say yes. So what you'll see here is the machine is going to then go in, it's going to wipe itself clean, it's going to take away any documents that were saved, it's going to delete any browsing history. Everything is going to be wiped off of that machine as if I never sat down, never did anything on it. So guest number 2 then walks up, sits down at that machine, and they say, hey, I want to see what that guest before me did. They go into my computer. Now that document that was there just a few minutes ago is no longer there. And that would be every website, every document, every file, everything that I've done on that machine will then be wiped away. So what you'll see here is a secure environment. It's a managed environment. It has a lot more bells and whistles and things going on right now in the background to protect your guests. But also what it does is it makes an easy to use business center for your GMs, for your IT team, for your management company, so they're not going in and having to manage and take care of these PCs that are deployed across your portfolio. So something else I wanted to show you briefly too. As you know, or as I mentioned, brands across the country require services to manage a business center. Our business centers, our software is the largest footprint that we currently have, or that's out in the field. I understand most of your properties are in the Nashville area. So what I want to show you briefly here is if we go into, let me just close this out. If I go in and I want to show you some of the bookmarks here, I'm going to show you basically what we have in the Nashville area. As a salesperson, if I want to work with clients, I want to work with a company, I want to know who are they working with that I may know. So what I just pulled up here are or is a list of all the hotels in the Nashville area that currently use our service. These are not past clients. These are current hotels that have our services deployed. So as I zoom in here, you'll see all these hotels. Let's see here, who is this? The Marriott, Holiday Inn. All these hotels in all these different areas utilize our service. Here's downtown Nashville. You're out by the airport, I believe. So if I went out and I looked at the airport locations, let me just zoom out a little bit. Over here, it's Elm Hill Pike. This is where our headquarters is located. All these are current Uniguest clients. The Embassy Suites, Courtyard, Homewood Suites. These are all these pin marks that you see here are all current clients that use the Uniguest software. So if you need any referrals, you want to talk to some people in your area to get a better understanding, I'd be happy to provide you some of this information so you can talk to these folks and see exactly why they use Uniguest and are they happy with this service. So again, I don't want to take a great deal more of time from you. I'd like to find out a little bit more about your footprint, where we would be looking to deploy the service so I can send you a proposal that's going to best suit your needs. So I'll end the call there. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll send out some additional information once I understand better of what properties you're looking to deploy this at. And how about I follow up with you next week, next Thursday at 12 o'clock. I will give you a call so we can follow up on this and maybe take a deeper dive. I appreciate your time. I look forward to meeting you and hopefully meeting your needs. Thanks, Mr. Jones. Have a good day.